I'm Theron Ramacharaka about meditation. I have a couple general notes to make and a technique for you. First, some general notes. You will have noticed that here on my channel I don't say much about meditation. And I probably will continue not saying much about meditation. There are a couple of reasons for that. There are some difficulties with the concept of meditation. Excuse me. One of them is that it seems that people get a bit defensive. People get quickly defensive about their concept of meditation and their practice of meditation. Almost, sometimes, almost as defensive as they are about religion or their religious or political views. I'm not sure why this is the case about meditation, but I have noticed it. And there are so many techniques. This is another thing. There are so many methods. There are so many conceptions of what meditation is. There are some that are really far from what anybody may call, just like the purest view of meditation. Whatever you take the purest view to be, well, you will find ideas about meditation that are really fringe to that core. So wide is the spectrum and so varied. There are some, whatever view of meditation you have, whatever conception of it that you have, you will probably find somebody else, you will be able to find somebody else's conception of it that you will say doesn't even qualify. Additionally, there is a significant little bandwidth of conceptions concerning meditation that I think are dangerous, especially the ones that have to do with emptying the mind of all thought content, blanking out the mind. There are those, and some of them do fall under what is taken to be the category of Buddhistic meditation, for goodness sakes. And when it comes to Buddhism, which most people take to necessarily involve meditation, there are hundreds. Did you know this? There are hundreds. I think it's over 300 varieties of Buddhism alone. Did you know that? A couple of them are genuinely nihilistic or annihilationist. Nihilist. And they do advocate blanking out the mind. As a matter of fact, to the point of, if you're a successful nihilist Buddhist, well, you will perceive your own annihilation via meditation. And, well, anyway, not good stuff, all right? Not with respect to our purposes here on this channel. The mind will always seek activity, and learning to gain control over it is what we are doing here. And we have reasons for doing that. We have our agenda, our intentions with that. For our purposes here, we can say that we already cover meditation when we speak of focusing our attention of attention control, of concentration, the development of true concentration. Calm, confident, breath controlled concentration training. We can say that we're covering healthy meditation already. After all, if you take a look at the various phases of Raja Yoga in its Buddhist version, the Noble Eightfold Path and so forth, you will find that the ultimate stage, the ultimate level of meditation is called concentration. What is that? The final phase of meditation called dhyana, D-H-Y-A-N-A, I believe. I believe that's the name for it. It is concentration. And it happens to be, if you look at the more Hindu definition of that, or yeah, it's true single-minded concentration upon the divine. It is the point at which the objective and the subjective come together in a oneness. Okay, anyway, all right. It is the point of all yoga. I mean, from the meditation point of view. It's not cosmic consciousness, but it is related to it. Okay. All right. That all aside, I don't say much about meditation. We cover it. Okay. We cover it. We're not dealing with methods of meditation here, because just like we can overdo it on all the different forms of pranayama, some of which I think are not necessary. We could talk about this kind of meditation, that kind of meditation, and just get lost in meditation. This could become a meditation channel, and it's not. It's not one of those, all right? We cover what we need to cover about it, and we just don't use the word very much. But I have given you a spinal breathing technique elsewhere here, somewhere in this channel, a simple, basic spinal breathing technique, and I have given you some cautions about it. We could call it a meditation, if we can use that word that way. I know a lot of people do. That this is my meditation. Like I think that's kind of like confusing, verb forms or something like that. Anyway, a meditative technique or a meditation technique, we could call that also a breathing technique. We could call it a concentration method, whatever. I want to give you, I've mentioned this else, what I'm about to say, I've mentioned elsewhere here in my channel too, but I want to give you another, what's called a meditation technique, but we can also call it a vocal cord exercise technique. We could call it a breathing technique. We could call it an attention training technique. We could call it a central nervous system maintenance technique. I don't care what you call it. We'll call it the technique. Oh, doesn't that sound celestial? Yes, O-M, or A-U-M, however you want to spell it. And the word A-U-M, has many meanings, including welcome to the gods. Well, do you know what it really is? It's the sound Let's look at this two ways. What that sound actually is, the sound of we can say, on one hand, let's refer to the universal as opposed to the individual, okay, the macrocosm, right? With respect to the macrocosm, we can say that is our conception of the sound of the universal, the cosmic motor running. The hum, the sum of all vibration, whatever, if you could hear that sound of the cosmic motor running, of the constant creation and destruction of the universe, summed up being the ever-present now. However you want to look at this, the sound of the cosmic motor running, okay? On the individual level, it is the sound that our vocal cords naturally make when we don't cause them, when we don't modify the sound of their vibration to form any specific letter, any specific linguistic okay, I'll leave it at that. Improper grammar, I know, but any specific syllable, okay? It's just, if we just open our throat and vibrate with air coming out evenly, we get ah. And if we just close our lips, we get So if we do the mouth, the lips open, followed by the lips closed, with a continuous exhale, vibrating our vocal cords, just vibrating the vocal cords, that's all, we get That's what it is. So it is our individual representation of the sound of the cosmic motor running. It's just vibration. Let's just put it like that. It's just the sound of vibration, unaltered with respect to what the human vocal cords can do. It just so happens that nature has provided for us, as it usually does, when we follow suit with its ways, with her ways, more than one thing going on at a time, to our benefit. Just like it just so happens that foods that are high in nutritive qualities are also high in generally high in vril capacity. You know, the form of vril that you find in the manifestation of vril that you find in the atmosphere is exactly the form of it that is most assimilable by the human body by way of breathing. Ah, what a nice coincidence. Well, it's the same thing with us going ahead, and however you want to look at it again, replicating the sound of the cosmic motor running, or just rattling, just going ahead and vibrating our vocal cords in no specific way, just vibrating them. Nature has provided for us a very cool thing. That vibration shakes, creates a vibration in our cranium, right? And affects very positively the harmonious operation of the parts of our central nervous system that constitute our brain, and the upper areas of our spinal cord, the medulla oblongata, so on and so forth. It vibrates them in such a way that they become that what we end up experiencing is a little bit of a bit deeper insight into our true self, a little bit deeper a connection with all of life. It just works like that. Relaxation, greater mental focus. And why not? We're doing something that is in harmony with the grand cosmic operation at work at a fundamental level. You can think of all these parallels, all these, oh, what a nice coincidence, as you can think of them all day long. And the more you do this, the more of them you'll think of if you intend to understand it better. And knowing what you're doing and why always adds significantly to the efficiency of the cause and effect relationship that you are putting into motion with any of this sort of thing. All right? The keys to any of this kind of practice that involve the breath, and much meditation does involve focusing on the breath, regardless of whether anybody says, now, what you're doing is you're blanking out your mind. So here we go. Now just focus on your breath. Is that blanking out your mind? No. It's focusing on your breath. It's attention control with rhythmic breathing. We cover that. All right, excuse me. When you first start doing this, you may find that you cannot get a nice, basic, just fundamental vibration without there being gurgling sounds, without the sound cutting in and out, without your voice jumping up half an octave or a fifth or a whole octave or something, up and down. This happens. These things happen because of the obstructions in your vocal cords. If there is phlegm, mucus, residue from smoking, from food, anything in there, it will obstruct the vibration. You will not get the nice, wholesome, pure, steady sound that you should strive for. And I tell you, the more you do this, just open your throat. Excuse me. When I'm doing this, I'm realizing I have obstructions, and then that makes me cough. So excuse the coughing here. It's not like I have a hacking cough here going on. No, I'm realizing I have obstructions. I just got up, and usually I have a nice, relatively unobstructed set of vocal cords when I first wake up. That's why I have this nice, orative tone or timbre to my voice right now. I wanted to take advantage of that. I just got right out of bed, put on my clothes, jumped onto I didn't jump onto my laptop, but I'm in front. I wanted to take advantage of it, but I'm realizing that I do have some obstructions. But I wanted to be able to give you a good demonstration. Okay, one of the main ingredients in pranayama, or vril yama, whatever you want to call it, is the rhythmic breathing. The other is the full breath, the full breath. I hope you know what I'm talking about. If you don't, you'll find it somewhere else here on my channel. I can't go on and on into all these side ventures here in this video. The technique. I'm not going to call it a technique of meditation or concentration or a breathing or anything. Let's just leave it at the technique. You know what all it entails, and you'll figure it out more and more as you do it. It simply is complete breathing or full breathing, okay, with the exhale going at your pace, but not so fast as to override your capacity to fulfill the requirements of the technique. What the heck is going on here? Everything going dark on me. All right. And you should do the first or the majority of your exhale with your lips open, and finish with them closed, creating the part of the sound. Begin it with ah and end with Aim for a nice steady tone, no increases or decreases in volume, regularity, consistency, and rhythm in your exhales and inhales. And exhale and inhale according to the full breath technique or method of breathing, natural breathing. All right? Start with a full inhale, exhale through this. Don't aim for going extremely slow. But you will find that with practice, you will naturally be able to prolong your breath as you gain deeper states of relaxation just from doing it. Allow your breathing, your breath cycle to become longer in duration naturally. Don't aim for it, just let it happen. If you notice that if you're doing this several times a day, at first, your breath cycle, that means an exhale and an inhale, takes 30 seconds, but 6 months from now, it takes a minute and 15 seconds. Well, or 75 seconds, instead of 30. Well, fine. That's great. That's great. You're not asphyxiating yourself. Your body needs are changing with your practice. You can consider that a plus. But don't aim for making it last a long time, holding your breath, any of this fanciful stuff. Let it just happen as it will. Your goal is just to vibrate your vocal cords with rhythmic, full breathing going on. And to whatever other concepts you want to bring in here about the sound, but you're rattling. What you're doing is you are vibrating your cranial nerves in accordance with the way your vocal cords vibrate naturally. And nature has provided many levels of effect corresponding with that. By law of analogy, there's a lot going on at once when you do that. Let me see if I can get this done without obstructions in my vocal cords making me sound like, I have no clue what I'm doing here. The result, if you're a man, should sound something like this. If you're a woman, it'll be a bit, not as rumbly, but it will be your basic fundamental voice. It will be your yop, okay? You heard once I closed my lips, there were some variations in the sound. I'll just have to accept that for now. I haven't been practicing this regularly. I used to. As soon as you are able to acquire a rather clear sound doing that, and with good control, just even exhalation, no fluctuations in it, and to do this rhythmically, inhale, exhale, you will begin to feel a peaceful feeling. No lightheadedness, nothing having to do with lack of oxygen or anything. No. You will feel the vibration take effect. Because, You can explain it in many ways. We've already been through this here. It's our human individual beings instantiation of vibration itself, the sound of it. That's what our vocal cords do. It just so happens that we can shape it by way of our tongue, our lips, our cheeks, openness of our mouth, our jaws, into language, into meaningful language. Well, don't for a second think that is without meaning also. Vibration is one of the fundamental concepts of the entire cosmic operation, isn't it? I've now said what I have to say, the very little I ever will have to say here on my channel about meditation. I'm Theron Ramacharaka. Be well.